Hey Browns fans, it's not every day that a whispered headline at NFL owners' meetings suddenly becomes one of the most intriguing scenarios for the Cleveland Browns offseason, but here we are, and I'm going to tell you all about it in detail, so be sure to hit that like button and I'll keep you posted. Now, amid a whirlwind of draft projections, quarterback dilemmas, and Chubb uncertainty, a new name has popped up on the radar, Breece Hall. And no, this isn't just a pipe dream dreamed up by board analysts during Combine Week. There's a lot of smoke coming out of this, and where there's smoke in the NFL, there's usually a front office preparing to make a call. For the Browns, this could be a serious opportunity to fix a glaring flaw in their offense, a flaw that few people are talking about. At the center of this developing narrative is Jets running back Breece Hall, a young running back approaching the final year of his rookie contract who is clearly disheartened by the way things are unfolding in New York. During the NFL owners' meeting, Jets coach Aaron Glenn made it clear that the team plans to take a three-pronged approach in the backfield, a death sentence for any running back looking to maximize his value ahead of free agency. The message was subtle but unmistakable: fewer carries, fewer touches, and fewer chances to pad his numbers ahead of contract negotiations. Hall heard it loud and clear, and if you're Breece Hall, you're probably thinking, if I'm not going to be the focal point of this offense, I'd rather go somewhere that lets me shine. And that's where Cleveland comes in. The Browns have been unusually quiet at running back. With Nick Chubb recovering, Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong Jr. are the only running backs on the roster. That's a depth chart weaker than Myles Garrett's patience during a 3-14 season. Maybe the team is waiting until after the draft to make a move, but based on the draft projections and how the chips may fall, smart investing says the Browns won't land their ideal running back unless they make an aggressive move, like trading for Hall. Right now, the Browns' top two picks are expected to be used on Colorado's Travis Hunter and potentially a quarterback at pick 33. That leaves pick 67 as their earliest shot at landing a running back. But based on Dane Brugler's running back rankings, by the time pick 67 rolls around, the top options, guys like Travion Henderson, Blake Corum, and Bucky Irving, are likely off the board. Judkins and Sampson might still be there, but what if the Browns don't love either? Are they really going to reach for a back they're not sold on just to fill a need? That's where Breece Hall becomes not only a luxury, but a calculated necessity. The Browns have the draft capital. Andrew Berry has the reputation. And more importantly, Hall offers a ceiling that few other options can match. He may not have cracked 1,000 rushing yards in any of his first 3 seasons, but context matters. He tore his ACL as a rookie, played behind a disjointed offensive line, and was stuck in an offense led by Nathaniel Hackett, which, let's be honest, could make Derrick Henry look like a UDFA. Hall needs a fresh start. The Browns need a spark in their run game. Jerome Ford is RB1 for 17 games? That's a scary thought, and not in a good way. It's time to stop hoping Ford suddenly becomes a franchise back. He's a solid RB2, but asking him to carry the load week after week is asking for disappointment. Trading for Hall makes sense if the team is serious about returning to its bruising ground and pound identity, especially if they don't plan on using one of their top picks on a back. Let's talk trade cost. This isn't going to break the bank. Think about the Elijah Moore deal. That was a day 2 pick swap, and Moore wasn't coming off a knee injury or walking into a contract year. With Hall, we're talking about a 4th-round pick to sweeten the deal, with the Jets potentially moving up 70-plus spots on day 3. They get flexibility in a deep RB draft class. The Browns get a 1-year look at a former 2nd-round pick with top-tier traits. If it doesn't work, no harm done. It's less of a commitment than some of the late-round picks they've spent on depth players over the years. And if Nick Chubb does return, great. Sign him to a team-friendly deal, use him as a locker room leader, and create a rotation that includes Hall, Ford, and a rookie. There's no rule that says you can't have depth, and in this case, you'd have upside and security at a position that's been bleeding since Chubb's injury. But let's be honest, no one knows exactly what Chubb will look like after returning. He'll be 2 years older, 2 years removed from a catastrophic knee injury, and coming off his first season averaging less than 5 yards per carry. That's not a knock, it's reality. Chubb is a warrior, but even warriors slow down. Betting the house on a full return to form is risky. Having Hall in place hedges that bet. So Browns fans, here's the question. Would you trade a day 3 pick for a 1-year flyer on Breece Hall? Are you comfortable rolling into week 1 with Jerome Ford as your starter, or do you want to see Barry take a swing to fix the backfield now? Let me know in the comments what you would do. And let's not forget the Andrew Barry factor here. If there's one thing Browns fans have learned about their GM over the past few seasons, it's this: the man lives for trades. This is a front office that doesn't shy away from aggressive moves, and Barry is widely known as a trade addict in league circles. If the right opportunity presents itself, especially one that doesn't cost a day 1 or 2 pick, he's going to pounce. And let's be honest, the Breece Hall situation might be exactly the kind of calculated, low-risk, high-upside swing he loves to take. Hall's contract situation makes this even more appealing. You're not trading for a 5-year commitment. It's a 1-year trial. A prove-it year for Hall and a bridge year for Cleveland's running back room. If it works, great, you've got a dynamic weapon behind what should be a solid offensive line. If not, you part ways in 2026 and reload with another back. No massive cap hits, no long-term obligations. Just pure flexibility. Now, for those asking, what about the draft? Can't we just get a running back there? Sure, that's the plan, if the board falls your way. But what if it doesn't? What if the Browns go cornerback at number 2, grab a quarterback at 33, and suddenly you're in round 3 watching every name you circled at RB fly off the board? That's how teams end up reaching for depth instead of playmakers. That's how you end up with another year of "we believe in Jerome Ford" headlines, and another year wondering what could have been if the run game had just been better. Breece Hall gives you a chance to stabilize that unit now. You stop playing the what-if game. You give Kevin Stefanski a versatile back who can contribute immediately. Hall has the speed to break open plays, the size to push through the tackles, and the hands to be a weapon in the passing game. He's the kind of back who forces defenses to play honest and opens things up for whoever ends up under center in 2025. Speaking of which, don't forget how important the run game is going to be for this next Browns quarterback. Whether it's a top rookie like Cam Ward or a veteran bridge starter, that QB is going to need help. And nothing helps a young passer more than a reliable, explosive backfield. You can't overstate the value of setting up play action, chewing clock when you're ahead, and having a guy who can bail you out when the protection breaks down. Hall can be that guy. And yes, the presence of Nick Chubb complicates things, but it shouldn't paralyze the team. If Chubb is back and effective, great, you have a powerful 1-2 punch. If he's not himself, you already have a plan B. Chubb's return doesn't have to be the end of the conversation. It should be part of a broader strategy to reinforce a position that carried this team in its best years. Bottom line, the Browns can't afford to run it back with question marks. Not after a 3-14 season. Not with a new quarterback coming in. Not when you're trying to convince fans and players alike that 2025 won't be a repeat of the frustration, injuries, and what-ifs of the last 2 years. If the team wants to show it's serious about turning the page, making a proactive move like trading for Breece Hall is a step in the right direction. So now I'm throwing it to you, the Dawg Pound. Is Breece Hall worth the gamble? Would you pull the trigger and bring him to Cleveland? Or do you trust the Browns' current backfield to get the job done? Smash that like button if you want to see this kind of move happen. Hit subscribe so you don't miss any breaking updates as the draft and trade season heats up. And drop your take in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Go Browns!